welcome to the Japanese city of Osaka. With a population of around 3 million people in the city, it's one of Japan's largest cities and ocean port terminals. What an amazing city this city of Osaka is. It's one of the largest cities in Japan. It's number 2 in the metropolitan growth rate, only to Tokyo itself. It's a city with an amazing architecture of buildings. You've got buildings here that date back decades, and you've also got new skyscrapers that are coming out of the ground at a very, very fast rate. One of the things I love about Osaka is the people, and they've got this great culture of food. They just love their street food, and you'll see that in many areas around the city, including where we're staying in the area called Namba. At night time, this place comes alive with this amazing food culture, and it's all yummy. Well, in the city of Osaka, we've decided to stay in the Holiday Inn behind me. Like all of the motels in this region, the rooms are so small you can barely swing a cat, but still they're reasonably comfortable. But I chose it because of the location. It's very, very close to Namba and the shopping street, which is just around the corner. Namba is known for its shopping area, its street food as we mentioned, and also as a place for people to gather during major events. Behind me over here is one of the main street areas. It's called Shopping Street here in Namba, and it's got a totally different feel to it from the daytime through to the nighttime. In the daytime you can wander around, you can have a cup of coffee, you can have a nice relaxing lunch, but at nighttime it becomes this bustling activity of people and activity and stacks of street food as well, which is all part of the Japanese culture, and I love it. In Osaka, Julie finds some new friends. Julie's just inside Starbucks here having a cup of coffee, and I've also learnt that tonight is actually Halloween. I'm not really right into Halloween, but Japanese people, especially the young people, love dressing up, and this is one of the areas where they're going to come, so goodness knows what we're going to see right here tonight. Halloween is getting popular as a seasonal event in Japan. In Namba, every character that you could possibly think of is starting to make an appearance. The event attracts thousands of people, and although they're in party mode, Japanese in public are usually well behaved. I don't think I've ever seen so many people in all my life in one location. This is amazing and bizarre, and I think it's quite easy to get lost in this crowd. Here we go. Woo! And the party continues. of live music to entertain. After all of the fun, we decided to enjoy dinner in a nice, quiet cafe. Little did we know that we were going to be invaded by dinosaurs. They were not only in the cafe, but also in the main arcade. And if you want to have a cup of coffee, you can join these girls here, and they are from Starbucks. They'll give you a cup of coffee. Finally head back to the motel now. Hey, did you enjoy that, Mrs. D?
Yes, it was a riot.
A riot. You'd never stop laughing
you can hear
for most
in
of
the background. They're singing karaoke now.
And they're karaoke, and it's almost midnight, right? And it's still going on. This is going to go on for hours.
And we couldn't get through the normal path we would go to the motel.
So we've come a back way.
So we had to come the back way because we can't get through with the crowds of people.
It's amazing. But so well behaved, even though they're in party mode. It's amazing. The Sky Building is one of the tallest in the city of Osaka. To get to the rooftop to see the view, you travel via escalators that seem to glide from one building to another. The view from the top, even on a rainy day, was excellent. Well, we're just about to go inside the Osaka Castle. This place has had an amazing history. If I started to tell you about it, I could talk for the next 25 minutes or so. It started to be built in 1583. It's seen the place and the walls torn down, fires have destroyed it, wars have been held here. And finally in 1931 the Japanese government decided to bring it back to its former glory again. And then in 1995 it had another refurbishment to what it is today. It's a major building in the Japanese history, and we're about to have a look, hey? The main tower of the Osaka Castle is situated on a plot of land roughly 1 kilometre square in its size. It was built on 2 raised platforms of landfill supported by sheer walls of cut-out rock. As it gets darker behind me, the castle also lights up, and that looks pretty good as well. Right now the castle serves as a museum of a long forgotten era of Japanese history. On the next day of our Osaka adventure, Julie decided to have a shopping day. Now for me, that was a chance to explore the rail system of Japan and to head up into the mountains. Sitting right behind the driver, you get this marvellous view of exactly where you're going, and it's perfect for a train buff. About 30 minutes from the centre of Osaka, you come across the small village of Mino. One of the things I really love about Japan is that you've got this cosmopolitan feel about the cities with its buildings and its taxis and people absolutely everywhere. But it really doesn't take you too long to be able to leave all that behind, get a train for about 30 minutes and come up to a place like this. This is Mino. We've caught the train here, and apparently there's some really nice bushwalks around this area. But look at this. It's a beautiful day. It's nice and quiet. Let's go for a bushwalk. The Mino Park is one of Japan's oldest national parks, and it's also free to the public, and it's open 12 months of the year. So the walk takes you out of the small little township of Mino, and it takes you up into the forest and into the hills. We're heading for the Mino Falls. That's about 2.5 k's. Let's go. Well, we're about halfway up the walk, and you pass by a couple of shrines and a couple of interesting temples on the way, but you also see the leftovers, the remnants of the autumn leaves. And if we came on this walk about a month ago, they would have looked absolutely just splendid. Let's keep going. Finally, what ended up being about a 3-kilometre walk. The falls are right behind me. Let's go have a closer look, eh? Go get some video. With a height of 33 metres, the waterfall is one of the park's main natural attractions. Next day, and back into Japan's wonderful local train system, this time heading to the Osaka harbour area. Front seat of the train. Let's get this into focus, and away we go. The port of Osaka is Japan's busiest and largest seaport. So if you decided to come into Osaka via a cruise ship, this is where you would land. It's Tempozan, it's terminal number 3. No cruise ships in today, but there are a couple of other really interesting vessels coming into the harbour. Wow, look at that one. I think I'm discovering one of the fundamental differences when it comes to waterways between Australia And Japan, if this spot here was in Australia, there'd be boats and barbecues and jet skis and festival and fun everywhere. But here in Japan, a waterway is, well, it's simply that. It's a waterway. It's designed to take cargo from point A to point B, which is a shame really, because this is such a nice looking spot.
Well, the adventure to the harbour area had a lot more to see.
Right behind me is a massive Ferris wheel. I'm sure that's got a fantastic view over the entire bay itself. It's a beautiful day today. It's 21 degrees. There's a slight nip in the air, but it's just a great day to do some exploring. Okay.
This area is also the home of the Lego Discovery Centre, and I don't mind Lego, but I just had a look at the entry price and it's about $32 Australian to get in. I've suddenly discovered that I don't like Lego all that much anymore. It's also the area where the Osaka Aquarium is. Now, Japanese play, they don't normally do animal enclosures really that well, but my little bit of research on this one shows me that this supposedly is the best aquarium here in Japan, so I guess we should venture in and find out for ourselves. Never do tourist attractions incidentally into Japan on the weekend because it's always packed to capacity. It's a Saturday afternoon and I'm going against all of my rules. It's the only day I got off, so let's go have a look. Like any aquarium that you go into, you start by trekking through the underwater tunnel. The aquarium, there's over 15 large tanks, each recreating a specific region of the Pacific Rim, and it takes visitors on a virtual tour of the Pacific Ocean. Again, it's not too bad. It's certainly not the best aquarium that I've seen, although the seal enclosure was quite entertaining. And so was the penguins. Now at night time in the same area, it's a totally different scene with a lovely display of lights. So the sun has gone down here at 10%. It's a nice night. It's a little bit chilly, but it's okay. Down to about 16 degrees. And the light show is about to start. So let's wander across and have a look at that tonight.
doesn't matter where you go in Japan, you'll always find at night time there's some lights on, something happening, there's always something to do. This is Shinsekai, and Shinsekai is famous for the markets, which look like they close at night time, so better to come here during the day. But the Aitashi Tower is just down the end of this arcade, and that is worth seeing. Go to the top, have a look at the lights.
The tower is a well-known landmark of Osaka, and it advertises Aitashi. It's a total height of 103 metres. The main observation deck is at a height of 91 metres. And it's a pretty good view at night as well. Last couple of days in Japan, so what do? Well, what about a bullet train ride to Tokyo from Osaka? That's about 2 hours and 40 minutes. If you're travelling from Osaka to Tokyo via the bullet train, make sure you get your book ticket on the left-hand side of the train. And on any clear day, you'll see Mount Fuji, the highest mountain in Japan. And even in summer, there's always snow at the tip of the mountain. Arrived in Tokyo, and time to leave Japan. What an amazing country. So much to see and do.
Okay, that's it for Japan. We'll be back again in 2020. Thank you for watching this video. Can I encourage you, if you ever come into Japan, go out there and explore a little bit of Osaka. I think you'll love it. See you next time.